Alright, so we have another rug here today. This is synthetic. She's not the culprit, but it has had a lot of pet damage, as you can tell. So today we are going to try and fix this. It has been steam cleaned in the past, and with little result. The owners are complaining about the odor more than the staining, but we're gonna see if we can't fix both the odor and the staining. Let's get to it. Alright, so now we're adding on some OSR. It's been heated up quite well. And we're just trying to get this long pile carpet saturated, because there's a lot of fiber here that's going to need agitation. Alright, so the OSR with the CRB'd is making mincemeat of this yellow urine stain, and the smell is great. OSR is a relatively new product to us, but if you saw earlier, this whole edge was completely yellowed out. And I would be lying if I didn't say it's starting to smell a little bit like urine. It's starting to knock it out. But this oxidation chemical is really going to work on it. We're going to continue to saturate it and agitate it, and I'll be back here in a bit once we start the rinse process. Alright, so we've thoroughly agitated everything. What we're going to do is kind of rinse some of this excess soap out before we get to the rinsing of the rug. We're just going to, this is a specially designed squeegee just for fibers and rugs. Especially this long pile helps tremendously. And we're just removing a lot of this excess moisture and soap. And then the next thing we're going to do is saturate it and rinse it again. Alright, Mr. Mike's helping with the squeegeeing process, and we're going to start soaking this thing down to go ahead and remove as much of the residual soap and contaminants as possible before we bring out the wand in the truck and then steam clean it. Alright, we've saturated it one more time. We're going to do one more pass through to remove some of this excess moisture, and then what we'll do next is we'll get the carpet truck fired up and give it a good steam cleaning. And you can see, even in this small push, a little bit of the discolor still left, and we'll get the last little bit with the carpet truck here momentarily. But I just figured you might want to see how much water actually goes into doing these rugs right. With pile this high and an area rug this large, it takes a fair few gallons of water, solvent, and time to make these rugs the way they need to be. Needless to say, there is a lot of moisture still left in this rug. Even after we're done extracting, it's going to take hours for it to fully dry. We're going to probably end up putting some fans underneath it and suspending it for quite some time before we then hang it. But once we get a nice dry set on it, we're going to look at the fibers again and see if we need to OSR one more time with another rotary. I'm hoping this might have got us right. We will see. Alright, so this is what we got after the extraction process. Now, it is to be noted, this is some outdoor light right here versus the blue light that's coming from above. That has partially to do with the light blue side here versus the warm white you're seeing here. Tremendous difference. Tremendous difference. There's no more heavy deposits. It smells miles better. I mean, absolutely smells miles better. The edges that were yellowed out and tinged around the edges are completely gone. Overall, massive improvement. Alright, so the owners of this rug had complained a little bit about the odor. So we are going to use a hydroxyl generator inside of our drying chamber where this rug barely fits. So let's give this a shot. Alright, so what we've done now is we've pulled out the hydroxyl machine, and we're going to put in a dehumidifier and then seal this all back up. It ran the hydroxyl overnight. I mean, the rug smells very good. We're gonna get this thing all dried up and ready for pickup. All right, we have the final product here. There's still some wrinkles left from where it was hung. It was quite heavy. This is some of the benefits of having a centrifuge. You can kind of get rid of some of that excess weight. But massive improvement overall from the pet stained rug that was here before.